Good afternoon. My name is Calvin X. I am convinced that people can convince themselves that a lie is in fact truth. It is not unusual that this happens in connection with human worshiping. The following Trump supporter said this.
Nope,
Is there
not at all.
anything good about President Biden that you do believe?
Nope,
Nothing.
not a thing.
Zero. Nope.
Not one thing.
So even if they say joblessness is down, even if they say the economy is coming back, you don't believe that?
Nope.
Nope. He's weak. We don't need a weak leader.
No, I'm just talking about his accomplishment-wise, forgetting personality and what you think of him.
Yeah, I don't think Joe's accomplished any good for this country. Not a bit.
Even though the same metrics that are used to determine whether or not Trump or Clinton or Carter were good presidents on jobs and the economy, are when applied to Biden, they don't matter.
Well, no, they don't. They really don't. If you look at it, when President Trump was the true president, which he still is, I believe, when President Trump was in the White House, our manufacturing jobs that were overseas, they moved home. They came back. That contributed to making America great again.
Where did those come back?
Where did those come back? Where did they?
Where did the jobs come from?
Yeah, in other words, the manufacturing jobs that were exported, to where did they return?
They returned to the United States, where they were.
But where, though? I'm asking, like, specifically, because I didn't know that. That's what...
Gosh, don't put me on the spot here. I don't think I can name all of the manufacturing jobs.
I'll have to research that, because
Now that Biden is in the office, those jobs, they're doing it again. They're leaving.
We shouldn't be surprised that when asked by the interviewer, the Trump supporter was unable to tell him where did Trump replace jobs that were exported overseas. And the reason he couldn't tell the reporter or interviewer that is because what he said about Trump returning jobs is a lie. It is a complete untruth. And the woman standing next to him, also a Trump worshiper, was engulfed in ignorance and agreeing with everything that the man said. This is also applicable in the religious community, where human worshiping can make people accept a lie as truth. Minister Louis Farrakhan was recorded saying the following.
Y'all, Farrakhan has a lot of explaining to do. Watch this.
I am the little Jesus that walked among you, did miracles among you. The Million Man March was a miracle. Look at the multitudes that came out to see and hear Farrakhan. And all the while that they came to see and hear Farrakhan, what were the Jewish people thinking about me?
For a man to openly say in front of his parishioners, his congregation, a huge body of people, that he is little Jesus and he performed miracles, such a statement is disturbing at best. See, human worshiping can be very misleading. Hatred can be very misleading in the sense that when you are told something under the guise of human worshiping and hatred, you will submit to it and subscribe to it. It is important that people learn to think for themselves, question, critically think. The reason a lot of bullshit and lies reigns supreme and strong in human society is because too many people are just merely sheep desperately seeking a shepherd. Very few people know how to think for themselves. They have no mental independence. They look for other folk to guide them, which explains why ignorance reigns supreme. Now, something as simple as a rumor can be given life if the rumor is spoken about a person who is hated by the listener. The listener will feed into the rumor and believe the rumor, subscribe to the rumor, simply because the rumor has something to do with a person the listener dislikes. The same thing applies to the Trump supporter who hates black people, who hates Joe Biden. So he subscribes to the bullshit and has the audacity to repeat it to a reporter or interviewer, whoever that man was, gentleman was, questioning him. Now, I'm not a trained psychiatrist, nor will I pretend to be, but I did do some digging. What type of liar believes their own lies? Both pathological and compulsive liars may believe their own lies. This can be why pathological liars won't admit to their lies or apologize for the things that they have said because in their minds they believe their lies to be absolute truth. There's a term called mythomania. Mythomania, also called pathological lying or impulsive lying, is not a disease in itself, as it is not included into the DSM-5, which is a diagnostic and statistical manual for mental disorders. However, this course of lying does stem from a system of personality disorder. Now, what is the personality disorder of the Trump supporter? Could it be racial hatred? Human worshiping of Trump? The inability to do his own research, learn on his own, think for himself? He's a follower of nonsense because he doesn't know any better. That man looks well in his 60s. Well in his 60s, and he's no more knowledgeable than a 13-year-old. Ignorant to be damned. And the woman next to him, agreeing everything that comes out of his mouth, just as ignorant. What can be the basis of Minister Farrakhan's misleading statement? Well, human worshiping. Farrakhan has been human worship for quite some time now, and he's not as ignorant, nowhere near as ignorant as the Trump supporter. In fact, Mr. Farrakhan is well studied. He's learned. He's knowledgeable of history and the world, but he's a narcissist. Enough of a narcissist to say some nonsense like he is little Jesus and he performed miracles. Now, look, I bring all this up to say that we're living in a time now, man, where people had better learn to think for themselves. You better learn to stop letting somebody tell you something and you just run with it and repeat it to somebody else and sound utterly ridiculous because what was told to you is a complete lie. It's complete nonsense. Don't let other people's hatred for somebody else lead you to disliking someone that never did nothing to you. Don't be a follower of dumb shit because you can't think for yourself. You can't question. I honestly believe also that some people are afraid, they're scared to death of truth because it debunks bullshit. It debunks the nonsense that some people have subscribed to. Truth makes you see. It also sets you free from being a slave to other people's ideological nonsense. So yeah, you had better learn today to think for yourself. and stop being a follower of dumb shit and just learn how to question, critically think. Do your own, don't be brain lazy, do your own research. If you don't know about something that somebody told you, fine, dig it up. The information is out there. It's out there. We are in the age of the internet. There's nothing you should not know if you're really curious enough about it. And as far as religion goes, your spiritual content is yours. That was in you from birth. It's up to you to nurture it as you live. What type of human being you choose to be, that's up to you. You own that. And if a book or some type of doctrine has to tell you to how to be a decent person, you fucked already. With or without religion, you're fucked. So, I say all that to say, man, that I wanna just emphasize thought for self, knowledge of self. Be powerful in that aspect. That way, when you hear nonsense, it triggers. You know it's nonsense, or you know it sounds weird. You know it sounds improbable. And then you can do your own inquiry, gain knowledge, and not be made a fool of. All right. Happy Thursday. More importantly, be safe, love, respect, and peace.